What's up, guys? Welcome back to AI Infused Network. Now, today's episode, we're going to talk about how freaky athletic athletes are becoming nowadays. Okay. I mean, records are just being broken, seems like every week. And it's like AI updates almost, right? Every week we have some crazy update. And every week we're looking at new records being broken, like this one by this Texas wide receiver, Xavier Worthy, who just crushed the 40-yard dash, which is something that needs more technique than you think. But I think he got it around 4.21 seconds and beating the record. And I think he also beat Hussein Bolt, who ran a 40-yard dash, who you might remember is the fastest man alive. And I don't even know if he still holds that record. Probably does. But how long until somebody beats it, right? So we're going to look at that, and we're going to look at more sports and just kind of talk about why are we watching the athlete absolutely become this new version of themselves, right? I don't think people in the 80s imagined how athletic, players will become in this time period. All right, so let's look at. I mean, if we're going to talk about record breaking, we can't go further than the man himself, Steph Curry. Right, you guys remember watching Steph Curry absolutely dominate the league. I mean, look at these records he holds. Okay, most games with 9 or more 3 pointers. Most games with 9 or more 3 pointers. I just said that twice so you can really hear what that was like. Right, most 3 pointers in a single regular season game, consecutive regular season games with at least a single 3 pointer. That is a lot of games, or they play at least 82 games. All time highest free throw efficiency with 90% 0.87, right? 90.87. That is insane, right? Look at Steve Nash's record, right? 90.43. And that was crazy back then. Okay. Now he's at 90.7. I'm sure he'd be higher than that if he took more, but these guys just don't miss anymore. And my question is, are we watching a new version of basketball? Okay. So, and according to the stats, the modern game here has way more 3 pointers, more defensive rebounds, less defending, and more point guard usage, right? Definitely less defending because a lot of people are arguing about how the NBA is quote unquote soft and allowing people to shoot more. But I also think on the other side of that argument, you have better shooters. People are just better at shooting now, right? And then there's the rise of guards and shooting guards typically use up to 50% of the team's possession. And now, you got guys like play center bringing the ball up. You can watch Nikola Jokic bring the ball up as a center, right? Or Joel Embiid bringing the ball up. And these guys got handles and they can get to the basket. They can score in multitude of ways, which if you look at this graph here, back in the 80s, I mean, if you're playing the ball to a center, you're expecting a hook shot or something, a ball back. Nowadays, you can expect anything, a 3 point shot, hook shot, layup, dunks. I mean, these guys are absolutely incredible. And not just in the men's side, but there is this woman who is just dominating the women's basketball world right now. And I think she just broke another record just the other day, right? I didn't even have time to get this into this video today, but she just became the all-time scoring leader in all of Division One sports, men and women. I mean, look at the average, okay? 32.2 points a game. That's insane. Okay. Let me just remind you, Michael Jordan averaged like 35 points a game his career, right? And that is wild numbers. Now, am I comparing Caitlin Clark to Michael Jordan? No, I am comparing that number though. Is she good at scoring? Absolutely. Now, this is the women's game in college is a little bit different because the women stay in college for about 4 years. So they actually stay in, and plus that COVID year, you can have up to 5, almost 6 years now if you redshirted. So that gives you a lot of time to get buckets, right? So if you're gonna break a record, might as well crush the record, which she is currently doing. And not only her, but her team is also averaging a lot of points, and that's just wild to me. I don't know. I think people are just way more talented now, right? I mean, let's look at other sports outside of basketball or American football. You have gymnastics. We all know Simone Biles. If you watch the Olympics at any year, you just watch her dominate for the past 10 years, and she's still dominating right now. Fun fact: right now, as we speak, she is still dominating the sport. Okay, so she just won another one. Now, this guy, Carlos Alcaraz, beating the absolute GOAT right now, Novak Djokovic, at 20 years old is crazy. Okay, I mean, Novak is possibly the greatest tennis player that's ever played, and he just got beat by a 20-year-old. Okay, now, and then this guy breaking racing records at Indy 500. That's also insane. I mean, listen, unprecedented attendance at AEW for 2023. That's crazy, right? Like who's watching that? Like, you know what I mean? Like records are just being broken like crazy all over the place, and it's kind of exciting to see. I think that having access to so many sports at a young age, that players are really locking in, players are really focused in one sport, and they're becoming very good. Now, there is an argument if they actually know the game or to just know one aspect of it. Like if you focus on shooting, you're just going to be a really, really good shooter. Now, switching to my favorite sport is a player called Lamine Yamal, who plays for Barcelona. Is the youngest player in Barcelona to make an appearance at 15 years old. 15 years old in 9 months. He was the youngest player to make a debut at Barcelona, right? The youngest player to start in the league, in La Liga, and he's going to be the youngest player to do just about a lot of things, right? He's the youngest player to assist a goal in La Liga. I think he's also the youngest player to score for the country of Spain, youngest player to start in the Champions League tournament. I mean, this is crazy. At 15 years old, I mean, what was I doing at 15? I can't even think. I'm kind of sad just even thinking about it, right? But now, what are the consequences? Things that we don't really think about. A player like this, that's this young and absolutely dominating in the sport, like he's gotten. I mean, that's a prodigy. That's prodigy material. But what are the implications of him playing so many games at 15, 16 years old? Like, how does that mess with your development? Do you still get all the muscles you're going to grow? Like, are you tearing some tendons too early? We don't really know until later, but I'm also going to, you know, guess that sports science will get a little bit better as we go on, because they've only added more games to the soccer season versus and even NBA, they're adding more games, they're adding more tournaments, there's just more stuff coming, more chances for athletes to break more records, more chances for them to get more burnt out and perform more. That means we're going to need more athletes, essentially, right? We're going to need way more than we have now to come into the league, because this is just not going to be enough entertainment. And, some of these guys they're starting so young. By the time this guy is, you know, 23, he's played a lot of football. You know what I mean? Like, he has been playing for a long time, and he's like mid career at like 23. You know what I mean? When you start at 15, I mean, how long is your longevity? Can he play until 40? Can he play up until like LeBron James age? I'm not sure. So, but that's one exciting thing. We can wait to find out to see how long, players like this can actually last, Pauls. But I think that these records being broken is a sign that we have way more talent now than we ever had. And I know that's a hot take, but players are really, really, really talented and they're focused on the task. What do you guys think about all these crazy records being broken right now? I mean, you have 15-year-old players balling out at Barcelona and playing against grown men every day, right? That's just insane and mind-boggling. But I love watching it just as a sports fan, but I know there's going to be some kind of consequences. I guarantee you there's going to be some kind of mesothelioma commercial coming. Are you an athlete that started playing at 15? Well, you are entitled to something like that's coming for sure, because some of this looks like a little bit of abuse. But I coach 13-year-olds, and I'm telling you right now, no one's at this level. But anyway, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you guys on the next video.